Welcome to the DSL Systems AutoPilot4Feed Menu System and Menu Configuration tutorial. We start off by logging in. Normally the button you want to press is at the top left of the graphics page, Menu. We'll log in as Fred Major, password, and Fred Major is a type manager. So the four words, here is the first word, here's the second word, an example of third word. We don't have a fourth word for this one. So if I click on this, up comes the program that I'm looking for. If I don't have access to something, if I go down to here, Warehouse FLT Program, and you'll see that FLT Program is grayed out, and if I click on that, nothing happens. So if I go to Configure, Menu, User, up comes the program to configure users. Now, I've logged in as Fred M. So here's my name, my password. I'm a Type 2 manager. I'll describe types in a second. My preferred language is English, and some sites do have the option of different languages. The colour, I can change the colour to different colours depending on my preference, but these are the new style blue options. If I was a colorblind user, I'd tick this, and then items on the graphics, which are normally orange, red and green, will actually change to yellows and blues, which colorblind people find it easier to recognize. And if I don't touch anything for 900 seconds, then I'll be logged out automatically. So if I want to enter a new user, Joe3, enter a name, new password, verify that, the type. Now here are the different types. You can have up to 10 different types, and you can see that there are different areas of the plant and operations. So just say I'm going to configure up a packing operator. My preferred language is okay, it's English. I'll leave the colour as it is. He's not colorblind, and 300 seconds, that's fine. So if I press save, and that's a new user entered. I'll just go back and display that, Joe3. Now the menu system itself, configure, menu, layout, and this program comes up. So here are our four words, word 1, word 2, word 3, word 4. You'll see a number of options, don't even bother with the fourth word. So the option we looked at before, which was the start extruder. So here was the option we ran before, start extruder from bin 1, no fourth word. It's enabled, as in it's on the menu, and it's the access group 3, which I'll come on to in a second. So if I double click on this, at the top of the program you'll see the four words, start extruder from bin 1, we don't have a fourth word. It's enabled, and then the access group. Now these are the access groups that are on this system, so intake operations, blending operations, press operations and so on. Some of the ones down here, modifier formula, standard substitutions and so on. And down the end you'll see a number of spare ones which you can use if you want to. If an operator has a specific operator station, for example in the intake area, then you can enable or disable certain options from that menu. So the intake operator, his menu, won't have this option, start extruder from bin 1, and likewise the blending, but the press does. This tick here, run from control PC, you should normally have that on because that's where the latest programs are stored. You may also have some various options here. The program to run, here is the directory cgenconvb on the control PC, and the program in this particular case is called pressstart.exe, and it's got two parameters. B1 means it runs from bin 1, and P1 it's press line 1. You can test run any program from here just by clicking on this button here, and up comes the program as before. So I can copy an entry by pressing copy line and just say I want to do it from bin 3, change that to bin 3, change this from B3, click on OK. Now if I press save, you'll see that the system gets saved, and within a few seconds that new menu option will appear on all operator workstations around the plant. So if I go to menu, start, extruder, and here's our new option here from bin 3. I can run that and up comes the information. I'll just go and display this again. Now let's talk about access groups. So if I go to configure, menu, access groups, up comes a matrix of which types of users can operate which types of programs. So on here, the column here is, for instance, the access group here, for instance, change day program explosion is a type 5, and these are the types up here. So type 5, and for our operators, types down here. So for example, Joe 3 is a packing operator, so that's 6. So can 6 operate at type 5? And the answer is no, because there's no tick here, and therefore that entry would be grayed out if Joe Horgan logged in. If you go to configure, menu, group names, this lets you actually change the names of each groups, and our type 5 is day program modify. We can also change the user types. So user type 6, for example, is a packing operator, and you can change the name of that if you want to. Now these poke access areas, this enables or disables an operator type 6 from operating certain things on the graphics. And if I click on CC4, there are various options here to alarm accept, run, stop, and so on and so forth. So if I go to configure graphics foreground, I'll enter the configuration for that, which I happen to know is PICC4. The access level is 8, so therefore if the packing operator is logged in, he has access to 8, and therefore he's allowed to click on CC4 to operate it in override and accept alarms and so on. Finally, there are fast keys, and if you go to configure, menu, fast keys, and you go, for example, for user type 6, which is our packing operator, if the packing operator presses on F5, then up comes this program here, which happens to be a report. You can create a new one by clicking on F9, for instance, report, say, alarm history, and once you save that, then that new fast key is there. If you want to, you can have add the shift, so if he presses shift F5, up comes the user manual. I hope that explains the menu system. If you do have any questions, do please contact DSL Systems on the details down below. Thank you very much.